Hello and welcome back to an all-new episode of Caregivers Community. I am your host Danielle. I am a family caregiver, and today's topic is about holiday grief. Knowing that the state's Thanksgiving is coming around and Christmas is in December, I wanted to make a video on holiday grief because I'm sure with everybody's seasonal depression that grief is starting to hit very quickly and it is overwhelming. The holidays are overwhelming as it is, but when you have grief on top of that, grief of a loss of a loved one or a certain situation going on, a family member is sick, maybe terminally ill, there's an enhancement of grief that occurs in the body that starts to feel like seasonal grief, and you can have seasonal depression on top of seasonal grief, which makes things even harder. But just kind of acknowledging your feelings and your emotions and not pushing things down, whether you feel joy or sadness or depression or anger or anxiety, kind of sit with those feelings and honor them. I know it's not really easy to do that because as human beings, we tend to want to push down our feelings and our thoughts and kind of go into a survival mode where we try to protect ourselves rather than acknowledge the feelings that we do have. But if we can take the time out to maybe acknowledge them by doing something that relates to self-care, like a bubble bath or reading a book if you can, or just even taking a walk around your neighborhood, something to alleviate the pain that you're actually going through at the moment. I know that holidays are never easy, especially when we tend to lose more and more loved ones around us. And we have to kind of create new traditions that will help us kind of get through it, finding a community of people or surrounding yourself with family and loved ones to make kind of a special time to grieve the person is helpful. Putting yourself in a situation where maybe you create new traditions, maybe you stick with your old traditions, maybe you make their favorite meal to celebrate the life that they lived. Maybe surround yourself with pictures of them, and maybe even make special ornaments to put on your Christmas tree. Start to do different things, maybe start new traditions. Just acknowledge the feelings that you're feeling. Even if you don't want to celebrate the holidays, that's understandable. If you don't want to feel joy that year, you don't really have to. You don't have to force yourself to celebrate the holidays just because everybody else is. And just knowing that you are not alone, maybe there's a community out there or friends or family that you can turn to talk to about the loss that you are currently grieving and will be grieving for the rest of your life. It does get easier as time goes on, as the holidays start to go on. Putting up a Christmas tree or making a special holiday dish or doing something traditional becomes a lot easier at times, but it still can be really difficult. Surrounding yourself with a lot of love and kindness and honoring even boundaries, even if you have to step away from the dinner that you are having, your holiday dinner that you're having. Create boundaries, maybe sit in your room alone if you can. Just acknowledge those feelings. Currently, I am going through my own kind of grief at the moment around my holidays. My brother's My brother's second anniversary is coming up, and he passed right before the holidays, and I am having a difficult time putting up my tree. Luckily, I have been going to this support group I just started it in November, and I'm going to go to a support group for siblings in December, and going to family grief groups for the loss of my brother, which I hope will help, because I'm having such a hard time right now even putting up a Christmas tree, and I'm having a hard time celebrating. And we just had to put one of his cats down that he left us when he passed. So the grief has just enhanced even further, and the loss has felt like it has just reappeared again and reoccurred, and it has been just enhanced in more, because I feel like we lost him all over again after we had to put down his white cat. It just feels like we had to it felt like losing him all over again. So I'm having a really difficult time during the holidays, and I imagine as caregivers and family members to loved ones, I'm sure you're having such a hard time during the holidays as well. That's why I wanted to create this video and kind of give you some advice to what you can do to make your holidays a little bit better, and creating new traditions and having old traditions, but really having friends to remind you that you need to take care of yourself, and that you need to put yourself first, and you need to honor your feelings. You need to take that time out to grieve, to respect your feelings, because we're told so often that we should be strong and not cry, and I think that we should do the opposite. I think that we should cry. I think that we should be alone with our thoughts and our feelings, and if we can't do something someday, we can't get up in the morning, we can't do certain things, we shouldn't beat ourselves up, even if we can just do the bare minimum of brushing our teeth and getting dressed in the morning and washing our face and maybe doing our hair. I think that's enough. I think that because we suffered such a huge loss in our lives, that maybe we don't always have to celebrate the holidays. And maybe one day we will be able to celebrate the holidays again and find joy in it again. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to celebrate the holidays and finding that joy when you do lose a loved one, and you want to listen to holiday music and you want to put up decorations. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not dishonoring them by moving on and by celebrating the holidays. You're actually honoring them more by doing that. And grief is not linear. Grief is not, it comes in waves, and it's kind of like being in an ocean, and it's a massive ocean that has waves in it, and sometimes you feel like you're drowning, and sometimes you feel like you're floating on top of the water and you're fine, and sometimes you feel like you're surfing on it. And all of those feelings are natural to feel like you're drowning in sadness, to feel like you are floating in joy, to feel like you are riding the waves of happiness. All of those feelings matter. All of your feelings are honored, and you should honor those feelings, because grief is just love. Grief is just a different version of love, and that's all it is. And when we grieve somebody that we love, especially around the holidays, it's just a different version of emotions of love that we feel. So I hope this video has helped who's ever watching it. I really do appreciate it. check out my other videos, and that will be, check out my other videos that will be shown on the two corners, on either side of me in the left and right corner. Check out those two videos if you're interested in seeing more of my content. And wishing everybody in the States a happy Thanksgiving, and everybody who celebrates Christmas a Merry Christmas, a Happy Christmas, and I hope you enjoy the holidays. I will see you again in another video. Again, please check out my other content. I think that if you enjoyed this video, I think that you will enjoy my other videos, and I really just appreciate all the love and the support that I'm getting on my channel. And I will see you again next week. Bye for now.